Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Am I the Asshole? If you like hearing Reddit stories, it would really support the channel if you could give us a like or subscribe. Let's get started with our first story. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter that her sister isn't the golden child? You missed out on opportunity because you're proved over and over couldn't trust you. Throw away and on phone. This is about my two daughters. They are a year apart. I will call them Callie and Rebecca. Rebecca was a rough teenager. She would sneak out, steal, lie, had trouble in school, etc. Callie was the opposite. She barely got in trouble and was an honor student. Due to Rebecca's behavior, she lost privileges. When they both became freshmen, I allowed them to go places without a parent. Callie was fine alone, but Rebecca causes problems usually by stealing. She would lose that privilege, and every time she gave her a change to earn trust back, she would do something else. This happened for a lot of things, car, trips, and so on. It was a circle, and when she was 16, we did therapy. She hated it, and it made it worse. She was very resentful that we were forcing her to go. Rebecca really started to resent Callie also, because she would do things while she had extra rules and conditions. At 18, she left to live at her aunt's. She robbed the place, and my sister pressed charges. She almost went to jail, and after that, she started to turn her life around. To the main issue, I picked her up, and she made some remarks that she should have a car like Callie. She bought her car from a family member. I told her she should save up for one. She made a comment about how Callie is the golden child, and that is why she had a good childhood, with opportunity, while hers sucked. I told her no. Callie is not the golden child, and the reason she had opportunities that you didn't have was because we could trust Callie. As a teenager, you proved over and over again that you were not to be trusted. She got mad and it started an argument. She is pissed we throw her past in her face. My wife thinks I shouldn't have said anything, even if it is true. Info. Did you and/or your wife ever try to get to the heart of why Rebecca went into stealing and sneaking out and all the rest of it, or was it just revoke privileges and done? The latter obvious was right and necessary, but also did you just write off the behavior as she's clearly just a problem, or did you try and figure out if something else was going on? Yes, we did, but got a different answer each time. As I said, therapy made it worse. So to this day, I really don't know her main motivation. Edit, you are the top comment. Please add a verdict. Yeah, on the one hand, it's hard not to wonder what precipitated Rebecca's acting out behavior originally. If you were unknowingly treating Callie as a golden child before that, or if something happened to Rebecca that you're not aware of, etc. But she's 22 and responsible for herself now. I don't think you were out of line with your statement based on what you've presented here. Edit. I keep getting replies explaining to me that there isn't always an inciting incident or misconduct on the parent's part. I'm aware. I didn't say either of those things were definitely the case, only left room for the possibility given our limited view of the situation, and mostly as an attempt to explain to OP why they were getting so many info requests at that time. Thank you. Some kids are just bad apples. I have an older sister who was a handful from early childhood. She eventually got her life together, but she was in her 40s by then. The difference with my sister is that she never tried to play the victim because she always acknowledged her behavior. I asked once what was her problem, and she said that she just felt like nobody had the right to tell her what to do. You didn't throw her past in her face. You gave a logical response after she made an unfounded accusation full of internet buzzwords. Not the asshole. And hopefully Rebecca is still in the process of turning her life around because it sounds like she isn't there yet. Why doesn't anyone trust me? Is told why. Stop throwing the recent past at me. Am I the asshole for not giving my daughter a car for her 16th birthday and cutting her off financially? I, 48 male, have a daughter Lisa, 15 female, from my first marriage, am not on particularly good terms with her mother, and Lisa unfortunately became an outlet for her resentment towards me, which ended up souring our relationship massively. Lisa is a good person, but unfortunately she takes after her mom in terms of demeanor and often acts rude and entitled. A few years ago I married again, Lisa decided to not attend my wedding, and she said a bunch of hurtful things to my then-fiancée Rosemary, 38 female. Since then, our relationship got even worse. When Rosemary and I welcomed our son a year and a half ago, Lisa sent me a text saying that since I have my perfect baby now, I could stop pestering her and trying to play family with her. It hurt me deeply, and I ended up distancing myself from her, though I kept sending her $100 a month as her allowance. Recently, we had an unplanned addition to our family. Long story short, Rosemary's sister, who wasn't a good parent to start with, terminated her custody rights over her son Blake, 17 male. Rosemary and I decided to take Blake in. Unfortunately, a few years ago, Blake got in a horrible car wreck that left him permanently disabled. Luckily, he can somewhat walk and doesn't need 24/7 assistance around the house. But that's about it. Blake is an amazing person, and he quickly became a part of our family. I decided to give the $100 allowance to Blake instead. He was beyond happy and grateful. I also made a hard decision and gave him my car. It's a 22 Cadillac Escalade, and I was planning on getting rid of it this year anyway, since Lisa is turning 16 in a month, and I wanted to gift it to Lisa. Now it's Blake's car, and he absolutely loves it. He really needed a car because his mobility issues don't let him get around easily anymore, and it changed his life massively. Of course, Lisa didn't like it. When she realized that she wasn't getting any allowance, she called me and asked what's wrong. It was the first call I received from her in a year, if not more. I explained that now when my family had expanded, I'm not having enough money. We'll be still sending her mom the child support payments as per court agreement, but she shouldn't expect anything extra. She asked me about the car since she knew about my plans on giving her a car. I told her that now the situation changed and I no longer could give her a car. I'll admit, what I said next was probably asshole-ish of me, since I told her that I now have 2 children to play family with and asked her to stop pestering me. This caused her to blow up completely, to the point she got her mom to call me and scream at me, and so did her new husband. They threatened to sue me. Lisa said, "Shall go no contact," and so on. I just brushed off the threats, especially since Rosemary is a lawyer, and I made my peace with poor contact with Lisa years ago. They also managed to write a few mean things to Rosemary and Blake, and this is what got me wondering whether I was an asshole here. You're the asshole. You're the adult and haven't acted like it for basically her entire life. She was, 10, 11, 12 when you divorced? She takes after her mom, aka I did absolutely no parenting and am shocked she acts like the parent who actually raised her. You distanced yourself because a child said something mean. Seriously? Will you do the same when your son does the same? Because guess what? No teen has an always positive relationship with their parents. More than likely, your kid will say, 1, they hate you, 2, you're ruining their life, 3, they didn't choose to be born or something similar. So you just gonna dip when he gets to that stage? Worse, she was 7, as per OP's comment now. If every parent ditched their kid when they said something mean, self-centered, or rude, this would be a world of orphans. Especially kids whose parents are going through a divorce. My 4-year-old told me he hated me for the first time earlier this year when I made him wash his hands after he went to the toilet. Should I kick him out? He doesn't contribute to the bills or anything either. Whose fault was the accident that Blake was in? Oh, that's not actually important. I just want to know if you gave a kid who got into a terrible accident speeding around doing dumb teenager things a practically brand new $80,000 car. Wow. Yeah, you're the asshole. But I feel like you deserve it to be spelled out. You're the asshole. You are an adult. You left your child with your ex. And as things got tough, you bowed out of the relationship. When she got mad that you started a new family, you basically said, well, sucks to be you. And ever since have continued to care less and less about your own daughter and let her drift off. Easier to pretend she doesn't exist. That mend a broken relationship, right? Yeah, you get to do that with friends. When it's your child, then you're an asshole. She was and still is a child. Divorce hurts. You don't like your ex? I get it. You got divorced. But your child was hurting, probably really missing her father. And instead of trying harder to repair the relationship, you gave up. On top of that, you stooped to childish retorts? I bet you thought you were really clever with that clapback. That is a reason you are the AH here, but definitely not the only one. Edit. 2. This might make me an asshole because it caused my ex and my daughter to text unsavory things to my wife and my adoptive son, which upset them and caused unnecessary stress. You're really worried about your adoptive son and wife's feelings about a few text messages and all this? Man, you really missed the whole point here. You're the asshole. And based on this diatribe against your daughter, who is still a child, I'm guessing you're the asshole in the previous divorce too, and you're the asshole as a parent throughout, and you're the asshole for thinking you can buy Blake's love with a car and $100 a month because it didn't work with your daughter. You're the asshole for thinking that you giving people things entitles you to their undying gratitude and affection when you're obviously a terrible parent who can't even differentiate between your ex-wife and your own daughter, and you've distanced yourself from your own child because you're so much TA that you have no sense of responsibility for the relationship other than thinking she ought to be indebted to you for tossing a pretty normal allowance. Her direction, in addition to court-ordered child support, which you obviously think she should be grateful for also, even though you're an entirely absent parent who couldn't care less about her. You're the asshole because you're the adult here and a parent, and you couldn't really care less about your own daughter. Yup, you're the asshole, in case you hadn't gotten that yet. Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.